Good morning, friends. This is Sri Arsha from Crazy Money with Sri. Today is 21st January, and let's see what's happening in the market, what happened yesterday, what will happen today, and how it worked in US, Europe, and what is the effect on it on the Indian markets for today. Let's understand this in detail. So let's see how actually market moved. Market has moved quite a bit on yesterday, and it was able to cross the previous all-time high, and it has closed at a record high. So this is a very good factor from the point of view of the market. It shows that this is still not the top, and market still has strengths. That's what actually the market is trying to show. Now, as long as the market can move higher, there is a much more potential for the market to move higher. And if market has to come down, then only thing is we have to start going making a lower top lower bottom, which is not actually we have actually made a fresh new high, which is a very interesting thing. Second thing what we are seeing is the confirmation we also need to see in the bank nifty, which is actually still it has shown us a reversal, and it has still not given us any confirmation yet. But there are, I see right now probably market will be more on the sideways zone than able to move quite higher. But overall, I think the euphoria in the market is there, and probably it can continue for some more time, and stock specific opportunities buying on dips is still continuing. So for the time being, the reversal whatever we had seen earlier in Nifty, we have not seen the reversal. We had seen the bank Nifty reversal. As of now, it is still at the resistance area, so I don't expect it to be able to break so easily. So if it breaks, then only we get a confirmation. Till it doesn't break, probably it will be more on the sidelines from the bank Nifty perspective. If you see what happened yesterday in the US market, after the Biden taking the charge, there's a big euphoria again there, and most of the stocks are nearby to the record highs. It's only overall actually market is extremely bullish. Even the European markets have actually reacted quite well. So overall the charts were not looking that great, but I think a short covering has happened even in the US market, and with this probably market may again either move upwards, or it can still be in a consolidation or a sideways kind of a movement. Overall, since the liquidity is too good in overall market, so I think markets is not ready to correct yet, and probably only after the budget and all we may see any sizable correction. So let's see what's happening. The opening looks like we may have a gap up opening today, and if we are going to have a gap up opening, it may try to fill that gap and try again to move higher. More or less today is an option expiry. I don't expect market to move the way the US market has moved, but we may be market may be in the range of 14,600 to 14,700 more likely. Maximum maybe another 50 points here and there, plus or minus, is quite possible. Overall above 750 800 is going to be more of a psychological resistance also. It's not that easy for the market to move up, and bank nifty needs to support for that. So Reliance is supporting. That's the interesting factor, because Reliance has actually started moving good, and there's also a good thing that SEBI has actually approved the merger of with the Big Bazaar. So that is one very the retail future retail, that merger with Reliance has actually been approved, which is a very good thing for Reliance. So that is one powerful factor which is there. So overall, I expect probably market still will be on buy and dips, because the bulls are extremely strong. They are not ready to let go, though bears tried their best, but still actually bulls are not ready to let go. Today is the last day, and today is the expiry, so I think they will try their best to uh, ensure that we close somewhere near to 14,600 very likely. So let's see how things are going to go, because we are at technically at a very high level, and until unless this weekly closing is not going to be negative, this uh, the reversal is not possible in the market. So the weekly closing is tomorrow. Tomorrow is where we have Reliance result, we have JSW Steel result, we have Wipro result. So market will be closely watching that, and if at all we see any movement on the negative side, then it is possible. But looking at the way the market is, probably it will be more on the positive side, and this actually probably can continue, looking at the way, and we may be moving very close towards the Sensex hitting 50,000 mark. We are actually inches away. Sensex, the high we have made is 49,874. Hardly around 200 points is for 50,000 level. I think we will touch the 50,000 mark for Sensex, and let's see if we can touch for 15,000 mark for Nifty is a question, but Sensex looks like it is going to touch the 50,000 mark, and that is going to be a psychologically a very big euphoria kind of a level, and probably this is a place where more and more retail investor will get stuck. Though I am actually looking at a correction, but it doesn't seem that the whole market is ready for the correction yet. But overall, markets may have this euphoria kind of a movement, and stock specific opportunities may be there in the buying as well as in selling. So you can actually look at the overall thing, guys. So overall, market is still buy on dips, until unless we don't get any reversal signal specifically. I think we should actually assume to see that market is going to still move higher, and only after we see any clear cut signal, then we will take a decision. Till then we should actually look at buying on dips only, because yesterday and day before yesterday's moves are clearly showing the strength of the bulls, and the strength of the bulls is not dying anywhere. And yesterday the FI data has been quite positive. That means there's much more buying which has happened. So it's a very interesting factor. So they are not ready to move out, and the liquidity is very very high, so that buying momentum is continuing. And looking at the commodity, gold, silver, as I said, because of the stimulus and all, they have actually moved up. So the whole thing is now they may be in the sideways, and since stock market has moved up, even the crude has actually been in a very ideal position. Crypto, I have told you 34,000 is very important. Yesterday we broke that. Today again the euphoria, sorry, the downtrend is continuing in Bitcoin. So if 34,000 is not going to be held, it's going to be very difficult for the Bitcoin to hold, and the bigger sell off can come. Stock market is at a bubble, and the bubble can burst any point of time, and we may see a crash very soon, but when is going to happen we don't know. I'm not saying as a crash like what we had last year, but there could be a good amount of correction which is possible, where at least stocks may retrace to some level, because the valuations are not that attractive at this point of time. So that is why there can be a retracement, but looking at the way market is moving, they are not actually ready for any kind of a retracement, and probably they may be ready to move much more higher. And if that is going to continue, probably we will be continuing like this, and it may actually keep moving higher and higher and higher. So that would be what actually I can see in the market. But today market may be more or less sideways between 14,600 to 700, more from the point of view of the expiry which is there today, and the highest open interest has been at 14,600 calls. So 14,600, either one thing is possible: they will push the price towards that, or they will actually try to make it a sideways, so that they will be able to take the best advantage of the premium, because there is a big amount of volume which has been there. Friday, Monday, there has been big volumes, and after that, though the last 2 days has been in favor of the bulls, today is the last day of the expiry, and definitely bears are going to take the best advantage of that, because that is what they did on Friday. So they have to ensure that they don't unnecessarily lose money, so they are going to do that. So we will be in this range only for today. So if we are starting on a higher note, probably we will come down, and that will be an ideal place again for buying, because right now markets have clearly shown that they are still ready, they are still ready to move higher. So at the higher level selling can come, buying can also come in the lower level, and you should actually keep looking and buying on dips, and selling on rallies for intraday is possible, but we are not seeing any advantage of selling any stock at this point of time. It's better to better to actually only do it one intraday and then actually quickly move out. Shorts are really not helping. So that's what will be my advice. I have been telling you market may correct, but I have to go back on that, because the way the market has moved, that correction which was seen probably is not happening, and Nifty is strongly supporting Reliance, which was weak, which has become very positive. That is another big factor. Now the only thing is pharma is little on the negative side. If pharma also become positive, so that also will be. So what happens is whatever was looking a little negative has slowly started becoming positive. So whatever reversal signs were there is not actually getting strongly happening. So there is some movements which are happening, which is bringing the price a little down, and from there again the buying is happening. So that is the kind of thing which is happening, which is a very interesting factor that clearly shows the bulls are on complete control, and the liquidity is in the market is extremely on the high note, and probably every dip is only going to be an opportunity for buying, and this can probably continue for the next 1 or 2 years. That's how actually it is happening, um, and probably it can continue for rest of the time. I really can't tell you where we will be getting any correction. Even if the correction are coming, it's hardly any correction. If I have to see that, I can as well hold on to that, and I can buy more stuff whenever that correction happens. That's what is actually happening in the market, and I think this is a time you have to look seriously at SIPs and building portfolios and all other things. So even if market corrects 5-10%, it is possible any point of time, but I don't see any deeper correction which is happening looking at the way the market has been behaving, and it can be anyway. Even if it happens, it could be stock specific, sector specific, but overall everything is looking quite great. So that's what I can quickly tell you. Thank you very much guys, have a great and prosperous day.